Hello everybody and happy Friday. Just gonna give you a minute to pop on in case anyone wants to join me live. But today I have an interesting topic for you. Today I want to talk about Feng Shui. I can see someone popping on now. Let me know in the comments who it is. Not that. I'm gonna send a test comment through. Let's see if okay, my comment comes through on the bottom. Oh, I see 2 people are live. Let me know who is joining in live with me today. Marianne is watching. Oh, not that. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of all these little pop-ups that happen when I go live. How are you doing? Wherever in the world you are tuning in from, how are you doing today? I know there's some full moon energy going on right now. I can't sleep during a full moon. I don't know about you. But in a nutshell, full moon energy typically illuminates the places where we are pushing something under the rug. Full moons typically do that. So especially with challenges or issues that we think we've dealt with before, those things typically come up. Now, today's topic is Feng Shui. Let me know in the comments what you know about Feng Shui, because I know it's something that some people either have never heard of or they've heard of it and they don't know exactly what it is. Now, I'm no expert in Feng Shui, but I have studied it. I have studied it as far back as 2003, and I have been using it every day in my life since then. Now, the most widely presumed definition of Feng Shui is that it is the ancient Chinese art of furniture placement. But that really doesn't do it justice, okay? What Feng Shui actually is turning your physical space where you live. The power of Feng Shui is turning the physical place where you live into a 3D vision board. Okay? This is what it actually does. It turns your physical space into a 3D vision board. Now, it also deals with all the natural elements of life that are also connected to our astrology signs, like fire, earth, air, water, and in Feng Shui they also have wood and metal. They actually add wood and metal into there. It's also very connected to Chinese astrology itself. Feng Shui masters will, basically it all starts on your birthday. So what's good for me in my house is not going to be the same that's good for you in your house. And it's all based on your birthday. So you have to plug in your birthday, and then you will be literally shown or given a map of what areas or what corners. They really talk about corners. So what corners of a room or what corners of your entire apartment or house, each floor, it kind of divvies that up into many different sections. Now, this part can get really complicated, so we're going to really just focus on the basics, the very basics of Feng Shui today. So right now, don't even worry about your birthday. But it's basically things like, if you want to bring energy, more energy into a specific corner of your room. And let's say that corner is your love corner, or other corners will be, it really gets divided up into the basic areas of life, right? It gets divided into your love corner, your career corner, your friends and family, travel, health and fitness and wellness. What are the other corners? There's also fame. So there's not just career, but there's also fame. You get the idea. So your room can be divided into all those categories, or then that map can be superimposed on your entire dwelling. Let me know if that makes sense. So my love corner is not going to be where your love corner is. It's not just the southwest corner of any room, right? Now this also goes on to calculate, for instance, what is the best area of your bedroom for your head to be in. So that determines where your bed is placed. So now we understand why it matters where your furniture is placed, and why it's much deeper than just where your furniture is placed, because you can have shadow corners. You can have corners that are not going to be auspicious for you. And the crazy part, the magical part about this is that when I look at, let's say, a friend's corner, and she's not doing well in a certain area of your life, her life, usually her bed is placed in a shadow corner for her. Personally, I've had the experience of, in my apartment, you can actually see this wall right behind me. That's where I used to have my television. Now I have flipped it, because when I redid the feng shui in my apartment a few years ago, I realized that that corner back there, that wall there, was a black wall, a shadow wall for me. And I would spend, as a solopreneur, I spend hours upon hours on my computer, my laptop at home. I work from home. So I was always sitting facing that black wall. And that black wall is like dead energy. So what do you think happened in my life when I spent the majority of my time facing a dead wall? What do you think happened in my life? I'll tell you. Absolutely nothing. There was a better part of a decade where I was struggling to get any area of my life working. The main ones being, love and business. I was healthy. I had some injuries I dealt with, but I was healthy. But no matter what I did in my business, it wasn't getting going. And no matter what I did in my love life, it wasn't getting going. I was facing a dead wall. The majority of my day and time was spent facing a dead wall. Now, I'll tell you a little story a little bit later to prove this point, but a lot of people really underestimate the power of feng shui because they don't know what it is, right? In life, that tends to be true for everything. If you haven't experienced it, you don't know what it is. Or if you haven't looked into it, you can really miss what something is all about if you've never actually looked into it. And an ego problem that we have in this society is that we think we know all that there is to know. But I guarantee you, you don't know what you don't know. And for the purpose of this presentation, I want to tell you about my experiences with feng shui and what it actually is. So let me just get comfortable. Marianne, could you send me one more test comment? Because it's doing that weird thing where I saw that you sent me something, but it didn't roll up. Could you just send me one more test comment, please, if you can? A couple of ways that you can kind of increase the energy, increase the flow of what is happening in your life is by bringing in those elements that are good for you. So for instance, If you want to have more love in your life, you would light a candle to bring the element of fire and passion. You would light a candle, or 2 candles if you want love, in your love corner every day. If you want more money flowing in your life, you introduce the element of water into your money corner, and it will start bringing more money into your life. This is what I mean by 3D vision board. And when you think about it, your dwelling, your abode, the place where you live, it is still a physical extension of you, and it should be an accurate and authentic extension and expression of you. But what we don't realize is that we can actually affect and fine-tune our reality based on where and how and what we place things. Now, to prove to you that this is not just a whole bunch of hogwash and it's not just woo-woo stuff, okay? This has been around for 5,000 years. I don't know about you, but I tend to trust the stuff that's been around for that long. And there are many schools of Feng Shui. There are many different schools, just like there are different schools of different dojos, or different schools of dance, or different methods of dance, different, so it's not just one universal thing. There's different schools, and they'll have different the concepts are basically the same. But where was I going with this? So the power of Feng Shui, okay? This is gonna blow your mind. When I first took this course in 2003, I was going to interior design school at that time, and my brother was going to Toronto Film School. He was doing a degree in sound technology. And some of you may know, but most of you might not know, is that my brother is a DJ. He's actually currently living in Taiwan. He moved there many, many years ago. I miss him dearly, but he found love, he's married, and he is living his best life. He is teaching English and DJing on the weekends. Plus he has his own record label. But this is not supposed to be a plug for my brother. I'm just saying, just giving you a little bit of background for this story. So we were both living together in the same apartment and we were going to the same school for different programs. I took a Feng Shui course. My brother would DJ. He had his DJ turntables set up in our apartment. And one of the first days of school, I learned that mirrors, Feng Shui school, that mirrors amplify energy. Okay, this basic concept of mirrors amplify energy. And I came home that day, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table. I'm watching my brother DJ, and he keeps messing up. And when you mess up when you're a DJ, it's called a train wreck, or it's called train wrecking, because you're not matching the beats. It's not dun dun dun. It just goes like this hogwash of like. I'm not good at sound effects, okay? Feel free to laugh at me or with me. But it's like the beat gets off, and it sounds like a train wrecking. That's why it's called train wrecking, and it's because the beats aren't matching up as you take one song out and bring one song in. There's a part where they form a third song, and only really, really good DJs can manually make them match. It's called beat matching. And these days there's DJs that have a machine do it for you, kind of like auto-tune for singers, where it's kind of like cheating, okay? But the good DJs, the old school DJs, doing it with vinyl and not digital songs, they had to actually match the beat. And if you don't match the beat, it's called a train wreck. So I just learned that mirrors amplify energy. And my brother is sitting there train wrecking, and he's just like, oh, Why is this happening? He's like a master DJ. I don't normally train wreck this much. And he's getting really frustrated with himself, and he stops the music and walks away. And as I see him walk away, I look over, and there's a mirror right here. This is a wall, and there's a mirror. His DJ tables are to the side of this mirror. And then I just happened to look what was on the other side of the wall. What was the mirror facing? You're not going to believe what it was. It was one of those old school black and white photo posters from IKEA with a building and a train literally coming out of the building. Okay? It was a picture of a train wreck. And the mirror was directly across from it on the other side of the room, amplifying this energy, creating this beam or tunnel or funnel of energy right beside my brother's DJ booths. And it was causing him to train wreck. I have chills right now. Look, I don't know if you can see that, but I have chills right now. As soon as I saw that, I looked over, and I was like, I have to take that picture down. I took the picture down, and my brother started spinning smoothly again. I shit you not, okay? Pardon my French, but I shit you not. This was me experiencing the power of placement, not just furniture placement, but object placement. This was me experiencing this firsthand, and same with my brother. And just to bring that point home, here's something else you might not know. All the major banks downtown Toronto hire a Feng Shui master. All the major banks hire a Feng Shui master. I don't know what it's like in your city or town, but the competing banks in Toronto are all in one section. They're all right there. It's the financial district, so every single major bank has a huge skyscraper. Some of them are directly across from each other. They have competing energy. They hire a Feng Shui master and pay them ridiculous sums of money. There's a very famous Feng Shui lady named Marie Diamond, who you might have heard of. She was in The Secret, and she is a Feng Shui master to the stars. Her consultations go for $250,000. Okay, so these people aren't playing. This is no joke. So what these Feng Shui masters do for these banks is they will set up, for instance, and this, I can't remember which bank it was, if it was TD or Bank of Montreal or the other one. There's five major banks. What's RBC? It might have been RBC. Anyway, they hired this Feng Shui master who placed these giant metal spikes outside of their front entrance. They're big on the outside of the building. It was like an art installation. If you walk by it, you would have just thought it's just art. You might have even thought it was ugly art, because it was just these giant cones, these giant metal cones, but they were placed basically on the outside of the door to protect, like an army with a spike, the energy of that bank from the bank on the other side of the street. Okay? This is how real this is. And that stuff blows my mind, right? So some other little things, that you can basically take from this masterclass and apply right away. I'm going to give you a few tips that you can apply right away, even without knowing, even without calculating your birthday. So in Feng Shui, I already told you, mirrors amplify energy. So right now, after this class, go and look all around your place and look at what is on the other side of the mirror. If it's a picture that you don't want to amplify, then change the picture. For instance, I used to have a picture it looked like a beautiful picture when I bought it. Another poster from IKEA, a very large poster that was like an autumn scene. All the colors were really beautiful. It was like purples and peaches and lilacs. It was a sunset, but it was a branch with just one little tiny leaf on it. Fall going into winter. And so it was just this one tiny little branch with a tiny little leaf on it. And even though I liked the colors, I was like, you know what? That was right above my head, above my bed, above my head. And I'm like, you know what? That doesn't give me that feeling of like abundance and joy. It was just like this tiny little withering leaf ready to die. And, that energy of that leaf and going into the winter, that's not what I wanted above my head every day while I'm sleeping. And remember, this makes sense when you realize that everything is energy. Even our words that we speak have energy. Our emotions have energy. Pictures have energy. Everything is energy. So I changed the picture above my head, over my bed, to a beautiful flower that I painted myself. A flower in full bloom, a big lily with a bright pink background. If some of you know me personally, you've seen it. But I wanted the energy above my head where I sleep to be big, bright, and beautiful. Big, bright, and beautiful in full bloom, not on the way to winter, tiny little wah wah. Okay, can you feel the difference here? So check what all your mirrors are facing. Now, any reflective surface also counts as a mirror, like your TV, even when it's off. Okay, it gets really specific like this. So even your TV is a reflective surface. Now, another thing that you can do right away is that dust is like an energetic traffic jam. Any dust is an energy traffic jam. This is why we feel so much better when we clean or after we clean. No matter how much we didn't want to do it, especially if you're sensitive, you feel so much better when you clean because the dust is gone. The energy can move again. It's almost like the dust stagnates energy. It kind of attracts it, stagnates it, and traps it. So dust is a major no-no in Feng Shui. If you want to take that the extra mile, clutter. And just an unkept place. Now, I want to talk right now because I need to do a bit of cleaning. I'm pretty sure right after I'm done this live, I will do that because I want my place to be nice and clean and tidy for the weekend. But even something as simple as when you get up in the morning, make your bed. Make your bed. It's the easiest thing to just do. It's a habit you have to get into, but make your bed. You start off with a little mini accomplishment for the day, and you can let it roll like a snowball going downhill from there. Make your bed, declutter, and dust. Now, it's important because they also say that the state of your place, the state of your space is a representation of your mind. So if you have dust and clutter everywhere, you're not focused, or you're unclear, or you're stuck, even in your head. Let me know if this is resonating with you. Something else you can do starting today to implement some Feng Shui. This might sound weird, but if you think about it, it makes sense. Keep the lid of your toilet seat down. If you have a cover, keep it down. If you don't have a cover, look into getting one. because here's why. Water attracts money, and money is just energy too. I'm probably going to do a masterclass on money, because money is just energy. Money is not the root of all evil. But let's get back to the water. The water in your toilet, if the cover is off, if it's open all the time, my teacher told me that you are literally flushing money down the drain. You are inviting it